Let's see if that works. Okay, looks like we're back up on YouTube at least.
Let me check. Yep, I've got a live notification.
Cool beans. Looks like we are
Right.
back. Damn, this fucking internet like hiccup just kind of just dropped everything. Holy shit.
They do that sometimes.
Yeah. I've been having it good for too long when it comes to the internet. All right, now we are back up and running. What did we miss? Not much of anything. We are stuck. We are stuck at this portion right here. Okay, let's just throw the report right back at him.
Yeah, it didn't work. We're not doing very good.
No, we are not. What do we miss? Everyone's asking the same question. You didn't miss much. You're missing us having extreme skill issue. I've deciphered the pattern, but I've yet to crack the riddle. Oh!
Objection.
The flash drive. Because the flash drive right here shows the picture of the orb.
Oh. The doctors stole the relic? Are you sure? Because that statement doesn't agree with a certain piece of evidence. What do you mean? Take a look at this. What about it? This contains an email from the doctor's computer.
Email? In that little piece of plastic? I'm afraid I don't understand.
Oh, this stick here can store all sorts of computer data.
I still don't get it.
Here, just look at this. Apparently the doctor was reporting his research findings to a certain individual. Now take a look at this. I didn't read that.
Oh, whoops.
It's the police report Detective Sky presented to this case. You can see the plaintiff's legal name on it. Paul Attition Wimperson.
I can see why he dropped Wimperson from his name, but that's hardly breaking news.
Closer, Your Honor. Ah! His initials!
Wait. PAW.
Paw.
Makes sense. Paul Attition Whipplesome. His name is my name too.
Oh dear. Right. The plaintiff's full legal name is Paul Attition Wimperson. Now consider this. The email's recipient address starts with 3 letters.
13 line, I think we realized pretty soon when the stream cut off. I think Like I said, I promise y'all only missed like us missing it like 2 or 3 times. That's all you missed.
PAW. Ah! Don't tell me. Oh, but I will anyway. The individual who hired the doctor to study the disputed item is none other than politician Wimperson. Wait, then that means... Exactly. He wouldn't have asked the men who stole his family heirloom to study it. Therefore, how could this possibly be the crystal of Ami Faye? Ah! We never checked the doctor's emails. We couldn't even figure out the password to his computer. The plaintiff willingly left the orb in the doctor's care so he could study it. At the behest of his benefactor. Wait. Then what about the police report? I have all the details of the theft right here. It's probably for another relic. The real crystal of Ami Faye. He's just using the report as a way to claim that orb is actually his stolen crystal.
Objection!
And how are you so certain that PAW refers to my client's initials? Maybe the email's recipient was a dog lover. Perhaps. So let's get to know your client a little better, shall we? Mr. Politician Wimperson. I think that's the first time I've ever seen anybody walk up to the stand.
You know what? You do have a point. I think so. I suppose shutting down detractors is all part of a politician's job.
Answer me this, Mr. Retition Wimperson. What is your shoe size, your favorite food, your birthday?
Would it be birthday?
Yeah, think of the numbers.
Oh, 117.
Uh-huh. What is your birthday?
My birthday? It's July 11th. But what's it to you? Oh, I see. You can address birthday gifts to my office. But full disclosure, I only accept gifts valued at $1,000 or more.
Ha.
Why has everyone gone silent?
How can anyone be that self-centered? Oh, right. Politician. Did everyone hear that? He said July 11. July 11, or rather 711, matches the numbers in the email address. Both the name and birthday are a match. I hardly think that's a coincidence.
Wait. Why, you sneaky little...
Looks like someone finally decided to join the conversation. Would the plaintiff care to explain?
I would like to say that is quite...
Quite what?
Quite a thing, you said.
Any other thoughts?
No further comments. I stand by my previous statements. He just leaves.
You can't just walk away. Even politicians have to explain themselves in a court of law.
I'm afraid I simply don't know how it happened. I can't possibly explain matters outside of my purview. Perhaps it was a mistake on the part of my secretary?
Oh, no, you don't, you slippery eel. Mr. Wright, would you care to respond? I won't argue with your assertion. My client lent the treasure in question to the doctor and asked him to study it. It seems that much is a fact. Now we're getting somewhere. However, it has no bearing on the issue of ownership. How so? Mr. Attition, I fully understand your position here. You had to hide the fact you sent the crystal out to be studied. Your family would have been very upset if they had found out. It is a family heirloom, after all. You've got to be kidding me!
He's like, this is how the prosecution feels. Mr. Wright is, well, right, of course, but then he always is. That's why he's my lawyer. The crystal is a precious Attition family heirloom and has been for centuries. But Dr. Buff was so eager to study its proud heritage, I couldn't say no. I didn't even tell my grandfather.
Objection!
But in order to win the backing of your so-called benefactor, you were going to give what you claim to be the crystal of Ami-Fe to that person. You were going to give a precious family heirloom away just like that.
I was going to explain everything to grandfather later. Honest.
My client's grandfather is very proud of his grandson for following in his footsteps. And if refusing him would have meant dashing the dreams of his darling grandson, I doubt the kindly old man could have said no.
Well, grandchildren are meant to be spoiled. That's what grandfathers are for.
I feel as if the judge is like one of those super cool granddads or grandfather.
Your Honor, please. I mean, it's been in the family for centuries.
My grandfather thinks highly of my talents as a politician. That's why he entrusts me with this very important name place card today. So I'm sure he would have been okay with me using the crystal as I saw fit.
Grandpa's spoiled little brat.
I think the judge is buying it, Apollo.
No surprise there. He's always going on about his own grandchild, after all. Excuse me, can I leave now, Mr. Wright? I believe my work here is done. By all means, Detective Sky. Thank you for your assistance. You're welcome. It's nice to testify at a civil trial once in a while. See you around.
It seems the facts have changed somewhat. Mr. Attition Wimperson apparently lent his family heirloom to Dr. Buff.
And this is how it's going to turn into a murder case.
Someone's dead.
Mr. Justice, how would the defense like to proceed?
Oh, all right, now what?
Apollo, let's hear what they know about this so-called crystal of Ami Faye. Maybe we can find some inconsistencies in their statements.
Right. Okay then, Mr. Wright. If the item in question is really is an Attition family heirloom, then let's hear all your client knows about it.
Of course. Oh, that's you.
Of course. Mr. Attition Wimperson? Please tell the defense everything you know about the crystal's origins.
All right. Now then, listen and learn. This is the tale of the crystal of Ami Faye and the illustrious history of the Attition clan. Are you ready? Our story begins back in the old country when the Attition family reigned supreme. My ancestors was praised for a benevolent ruler. He protected the spirit mediums, a minority back then, from the rest of the locals. Some discriminated against them, you see, while others tried to abuse their power. As thanks, Ami Faye gave the crystal she had specifically made as a gift to him. I am a descendant of that great lord. As such, my political power and influence is backed by centuries of history.
Well, that devolved into a great load of self-aggrandizing propaganda fast. As you can see, the crystal of Ami Faye is an heirloom of the esteemed House of Attition. And you have proof that it has always been in the Attition family? I have someone who gave a statement to that effect. My client's neighbor, one, Yves Shinetto?
Yves Shinetto.
Or, it's spelled Shinetto. That's not how it's pronounced. Shinetto. I'm pretty sure it's pronounced Shinetto. Yves Shinetto, age 85, gave the following statement. It's gonna be old bag. The Attitians showed me the crystal back when I was but a lad. Objection! Can we really trust the memory of an old man? Oh, it's a man. Mr. Justice, would you care to explain that statement to the judge?
Oh! Staring daggers.
I'm listening, pretty boy.
Oh, I didn't mean. What I'm trying to say is,
Never underestimate the memory of your elders. I may forget my verdicts the next day, but the memories of my past are as clear as day. Therefore, I find Mr. Maybe it's Ivis?
Ivis Shinetto.
I find Mr. Ivis Shinetto's statements to be perfectly credible.
Wow! Did you see how Mr. Wright got the judge on his side? That's definitely
literally a first.
That's definitely a trick I want up my sleeve.
You're not helping, Athena. You may cross-examine the witness, Mr. Justice.
Hey, welcome back, Wooly. And they're talking about Japanese 7-Elevens. Love Japanese 7-Elevens. They're pretty cool.
That object you set down there, is it something of importance to you?
It's a nameplate card. This one's belonged to my grandfather, Abraham Titian. He had it custom made during his distinguished political career. It's special because it's crafted from the finest Italian plastic.
I wasn't aware Italians were famous for their fine plastic.
Oh, come on, Apollo. Didn't you know the leaning town of Pisa is made out of plastic? You can touch it if you want.
No, I'm fine.
Very well. I'll just continue with my testimony. My ancestor was praised as a benevolent ruler, but he was also eminent politician.
So I take it the relationship with the Fae clan was a close one.
A smooth and open line of communication with my entire electorate. This is the politician way.
Huh? Oh, sorry. I was asking about your ancestor.
Whether it's about me or my ancestor, feel free to ask me anything you'd like. Transparency is government. That's the politician way.
More like dodging questions. That's the politician way. Thanks. I'll be sure to ask when I have something you'll actually answer.
As I was saying, the Titian family protected the Fae spirit mediums back then.
Spirit mediums were targets of discrimination?
Yes, some people even treated them like they were monsters. The transformation the mediums underwent when channeling spirits frightened the locals.
I mean, I can't blame them. We saw what happened in the second case.
That terrified you? Fair enough.
Are you kidding me? That was scarring.
It was kind of scarring. And then there were those that tried to use them.
You mean they sought to control the channeling powers of the mediums?
Discriminating against a minority is absolutely despicable. A vote for me is a vote to end discrimination. I vow to root it out wherever it may be. That is my promise to you. He's totally ignoring your questions. It's like you're a moderator at a political debate.
Yeah. And only he cares about his talking points. As thrilling as your campaign is, could we please get back to your testimony?
As you wish. Now then, as for the crystal of Ami Faye.
You said she had made it. So then it was made in Japan?
That's right. They say she hired a famous craftsman to make it. And they say it's quite valuable too.
And you were the one going to, take such a priceless family heirloom? And just give it to your patron?
That's so typical of you ignorant common type. Oh my gosh, don't read what Captain Ghostly said. Making difficult decisions when the chips are down is what being a politician's all about.
But only when it's in service to your own political career, you mean?
Also, welcome, Captain Ghostly. The crystal is a testament to my ancestors' remarkable achievements. Also, I saw Vegeta come in earlier, too. Hello, Vegeta. And furthermore...
Hold it! So tell me, Mr. Titian Wimperson, are you famous in Karain Village?
You could say that, but I find my popularity to be rather bemusing.
Bemusing?
Yes, my campaign posters keep going missing as soon as I put them up. My avid supporters and female fans are likely taking them home to hang in their bedrooms. Imagine just being that full of yourself.
I guess ignorance really is bliss.
All this only proves my fine lineage.
Hold it! I'm sorry, but is any of that relevant to the issue of the relic's rightful owner?
Have you never heard of the Kingcraft?
Kingcraft?
It's the art of ruling as a king. My father drilled it in my head from a young age. And one of his precepts states, ruin awaits a ruler who's responsible to every single issue posed by the masses.
Well, that answered my question about what he meant by king of this nation. Progress.
Ooh. Apollo, who's this Ami Faye anyway?
I believe she was the founder of the Karain channeling technique.
The plaintiff claims that the crystal made. The plaintiff claims she had the crystal made for his ancestor. That would mean it was made in Japan, right?
Yes, I suppose it would.
Let's see here. He made it specifically, so it was made in Japan. They were pointing out the fact that it was made in Japan.
Yeah.
You got the orb because of the research notes. Oh, the research notes. But it doesn't show the orb, though. Mitama motif from the Korean founding period. And they could just say that this is talking about the Founder's Orb, and we're not talking about the Founder's Orb. We're talking about the crystal. I'm the descendant. As such, my political power and influence is backed by century of history. Some discriminate against them. You protect the spear meme. A lot of this is just kind of fluff. That's not needed. Not needed. As thanks, Ami Faye gave the crystal she had made specifically as a gift. Wait a second. Oh, here we go. Right there. It's the Mitama motif from the Quran founding period.
Okay.
On the orb itself, it has those same motifs.
Okay.
Objection!
You stated that Ami Faye had the crystal made for your ancestor. So am I to assume that it was made in Japan?
That's right! The craftsmanship is unbeatable!
Well, that's strange. I don't see how your so-called crystal could have been made there.
What are you talking about?
It's quite obvious if you take a closer look at this.
Take that!
Is there blood on it?
It kind of does look like it's blood.
Take a look at the distinctive design here. According to Dr. Buff, it's a mitama dating back to the early days of the Kingdom of Korean.
The Kingdom of Korean. And you base this on...
Here, this piece of evidence, Your Honor. These are the doctor's research notes on the Founder's Orb. This is the box in which the orb was originally stored. It features the same pattern as the one found on the orb.
They do look like the same pattern.
Therefore, I assert that the disputed item must have been made in the Kingdom of Korean.
Ah! Eek! My police card!
Objection!
The Korean channeling technique originated in the Kingdom of Korean. And Ami Faye is known to have traveled there to train. With that in mind, what's to say she didn't bring the pattern back with her?
Objection!
But since this is clearly a Koreanese design, not even you can deny the possibility that it was made there, in the Kingdom of Korean.
Objection!
Anything's possible to some extent. That doesn't make it true. So you can't conclude that the orb is from Korean based solely on the pattern. If it were that simple, I could just as easily say it's Japanese.
I have to agree with Mr. Wright. The pattern alone proves nothing.
Judge, when have you ever agreed with Mr. Wright? This early in a
Right
case.
since right now.
Since he is the technical bad guy in this, that's why I'm backing him.
But that also means there's no basis to claim the item in dispute was made in Japan either. At this rate, we're going nowhere fast.
He's right. We're just spinning our wheels here.
I wonder if we have any evidence that could break the stalemate.
Evidence that could break this stalemate.
Well, we have to have something. Huh.
The defense would like to present a piece of evidence to the court. It could have been one of those situations where we're supposed to say no.
That's true.
A piece that will finally break this stalemate. Oh? Well, you've sure piqued my interest. Let's see what you've got. All right. I will now prove that this is, in fact, the Founder's Orb. I think this is only my second time voicing somebody on the prosecutor's bench.
Yeah, I think so. I deciphered the pattern, but have yet to crack the riddle. The riddle! The riddle that was with the research note. To get this thing opened up. We go back to the email.
Okay. And just how does that piece of evidence prove the relic is the Founder's Orb?
Okay, that didn't work.
It doesn't, does it? Not by any means I can fathom.
I feel as if I could fathom a meme. Sorry, Apollo, but I have to agree with the boss on this.
Me too, actually.
Me three, defense. To think that one over again.
Wait, what?
Oh, time. Time to think that one over again, Mr. Justice.
Technically, it's your third time. Franziska and Barrick von Zykes?
Who's Barrick von Zykes?
I don't remember von Zykes.
Let me look him up real fast. Barrick von...
Yes, Your Honor.
Let's see. Oh, that guy. You weren't there for that one. I never finished that game, though, so I guess I don't count that. There doesn't seem to be anything we can use. At least not at this point.
Well, unless we could find something, this trial won't go anywhere. Phew, that's much better.
What's his deal? I have a suggestion. Why don't we consider this from a different angle? I'm listening. What if the Defiant Dragons really were authorized to take possession of the relic?
I'm afraid I don't know where you're going with this, Mr. Wright.
Consider the orb transfer agreement, which states... I agreed to hand over the Founder's Orb to the Defiant Dragons if I will come to no harm. What if, as the last part suggests, this was written under duress? That would render the agreement null and void. What are you suggesting, Mr. Wright? While you were on your little cave expedition, I was investigating Dr. Buff's accident. And there was something you overlooked, Mr. Justice. Namely, that his accident might have actually been a murder. There it is.
There it is.
What? Murder?
Mr. Wright, you do realize such statements are not made lightly. Are you suggesting the doctor was murdered by the Defiant Dragons?
Yes, but follow me on this for a second. The books that came tumbling down were from the archaeology shelf. However, among that mountain of books was a single volume on psychology. What's more, there was some blood on it.
And some coffee.
And you feel this is important because... The books that came tumbling down were from the top shelf, the archaeology books.
Why is there a singular psychology book?
We know this because the doctor's books were meticulously organized by subject. Archaeology took up the entire shelf, so that psychology book is completely out of place. Come to think of it, the shelves were arranged quite carefully. It's also worth noting that psychology books only take up a tiny part of the bottom shelf. You might wonder why a book on psychology was found amid the pile of archaeology books. But I believe I can explain what that single out-of-place book was doing there. The doctor was struck from behind while selecting a psychology book from the shelf. And that's when the blood got on the book? Precisely. And to make it look like an accident, he was buried under a mountain of archaeology books.
Objection!
Wait a second! This is all just speculation, right? Or do you have proof that it was murder? Of course I do.
You do?
He does. You know he does.
On a hunch, I had Detective Sky examine the doctor's head wound. She found that he'd been struck by the corner of some object or another. Wait, what? A wound like that couldn't have resulted from a fall to the floor, you know. Do you understand what this means, Mr. Justice? The wound makes it crystal clear that Dr. Buff was murdered. What?
Well, that was unexpected. Who'd have thought we'd break out of the stalemate like this? He pulled the ladder right out from under us.
Still, if you think that's enough to make me back down, he's got another thing coming. Even if the cause of death was murder, what makes you think it was the Defiant Dragons? You should know better than to hurl baseless accusations.
Objection!
Did you forget who you were up against, Mr. Justice? Huh? You didn't actually think I'd come to court without a witness or witnesses and evidence, did you?
Why do I hear boss music?
What are you talking about? I would like to request further testimony from the plaintiff. Specifically, I would like the court to hear how he saw one of the rebels leaving the crime scene.
Oh, snap.
He saw what?
If he can prove it was murder, that's the end of our client's right to the orb. Did he just have this up his sleeve the whole time?
How could Mr. Wright do this to us? He's just waiting to he was just waiting to spring this trap.
This trial has taken another unexpected turn. But I must mention, Mr. Wright, that you have yet to identify the murder, weapon.
The object used to commit murder was not located at the scene of the crime.
Hey, Frosty. Yes, he is the prosecutor this time, because this was a civil case. Originally.
The murderer likely disposed of it elsewhere.
Dr. Buff was struck in the corner by some object. With the corner of some object. The time of death. Oh, I think I know what the item was.
Well, I never thought we'd be deliberating the issue of murder at a civil trial. All right, Mr. Retishan Wimperson, your testimony, if you please.
Prepare to be dazzled! Dazzled by charismatic orientation, forged in the crucible of campaign battles. That evening, I was walking alone, lost in thought. I passed by the doctor's house, and that's when I saw Mr. Herbal. He was running out the front door. It was around 10 at night. Surely that must have been him fleeing the scene of his crime. A vote for me is a vote to end such violence. This is my promise to you.
So the plaintiff saw a possible suspect fleeing from the doctor's residence. And it was within the window of the estimated time of death?
That's our rebel. What in the world were you doing there then? It seems Mr. Rebel was loitering about in Crane Village that day. There's evidence he was in the doctor's study, there's evidence he was in the doctor's study as well. Isn't that right, Mr. Justice? Ah! You mean the suitcase? Exactly. He must have been in quite the rush to leave that behind. Oh, and by the way, Your Honor, Mr. Rebel just so happens to be sitting in the gallery today.
Ag!
See? That's him trying to escape as we speak.
Bailiff! Don't let that man get away!
Right, you backstabber! Why are you doing this to me?
All right. The counsel/defense may question the plaintiff/witness once more. Ahem. Please proceed, Mr. Justice.
I was walking alone, lost in thought.
Why were you taking a walk?
Society is inundated with serious problems that must be solved. And as a politician, I'm always on the job thinking hard about possible solutions, even on my walks.
Thanks for the non-answer.
While we live out our comfy lives, there are starving children who suffer in the back alleys of our major cities. It's not in me to ignore such suffering. A vote for me is a vote to end hunger and for world peace and for puppies.
I'm listening. Yes, Mr. Attition Wimperson, we're well aware of your outstanding character. Now, please continue with your testimony.
Even Phoenix is done with his shit. He's like, this is all part of the plan, Phoenix. Just inflate his ego. I can practically hear my poll numbers surging. Now, on with my speech. After all, the voting public must be informed of the magnificence that is me. I think he needs to work on his self-confidence, honestly. You know, just a smidge, you know? I'm not saying he needs to be arrogant. Just, like, work on it a little bit, you know?
Hold it!
Yeah, maybe. Where exactly were you when you saw Mr. Rebel?
Right here, under this tree. I saw him dashing out of Dr. Buff's front door.
And he didn't notice you?
No, I was hidden by the tree.
Is it really all that important to know from where the plaintiff saw Mr. Rebel?
Yes, it is.
Yes, I believe it matters a lot. I ask that it please be added to the testimony.
I was under this tree when I saw Mr. Abal.
Hold it!
Wait. I just realized, how did he not see this? Oh, wait, no, this is the second floor. Is this the second floor of the building? No, it should be ground level. Yeah, if he was standing by the tree, why didn't he see the actual crime itself? Because the body would have been right around here if he was standing right on that tree. A lack of lateral thinking. That is a politician's downfall.
What?
That is why, if I'm elected, I promise to think outside the box.
The question was, what were you doing under the tree, Mr. Attition Wimperson?
I suppose I can't expect a plebeian such as yourself to understand my grand design.
Oh yeah? Try me, O Lord of the Plebs. Mr. Attition Wimperson. I believe the court is well aware of your grand political vision. Now, let's have the rest of your testimony, if you please.
I can hardly wait for the upcoming election! Okay, I'm gonna test my theory. Yeah, because it's right in front of the window.
Objection!
That didn't work.
Please take a look at this piece of evidence.
I'm looking, but what am I supposed to see?
Oh, As your boss and mentor, here's a bit of advice. We've read this.
Won't let me skip or fast forward. Oof. Well, that's the second game over. Granted, the first one was on purpose.
Do we? I guess we don't count that one then. Yeah, this is all the same.
Return to our daily lives. Who would have guessed that we would have gotten the game over or the bad ending by ourselves?
Yay for us.
Yeah, had some internet issues, Super Sans, but we're back. Okay, I'm going to press him again just so we get that piece of the testimony back. It could be useless, but who knows? It's good to have. He was running out the front door. We never pressed with this.
Did you notice anything unusual?
Yes, his behavior was incredibly suspicious. His eyes were darting all around as he ran off in total panic. As soon as I saw that, I knew he had done something. It was probably it probably wasn't good.
Despite that, you still didn't report it to the police?
Who would have thought he killed Dr. Buff? Not me. That's why I didn't report him.
So the witness did not notify the police. Is that an important statement, Mr. Justice?
Have him at it. Why not?
Yes, it's important. I request that the witness add it to his testimony.
Sure, why not? Oh, is this about the window?
Hold it!
How did he not know? It's standing in the tree in the window.
Excuse me.
Ooh, bless you.
You had no idea he was dead? In other words, you knew nothing about what had happened?
I am truly ashamed of myself.
What?
There's been a gruesome murder in my beloved village. What a fool I've been. I was thinking only of the village's future and world peace. It seems my earnest attitude and industrious nature has come back to haunt me.
Only a politician would try to pass off self-aggrandizement as self-deprecation.
Apollo, do you think this is how all politicians will be from now on?
We're all doomed if they are.
If you don't mind, I'd like to continue with my testimony.
But at the time, you didn't know the doctor was dead. Is that correct?
It's true that I've been known as a prodigy from a very young age.
Huh?
I graduated high school and college with exceptional grades as class president. I reformed stale old school traditions. My exploits were even covered in local papers. But as exceptional as I am, I can't possibly be expected to know everything at all times.
This isn't working. He keeps bending the questions to serve his own needs.
Hang in there, Apollo!
Mr. Attition Wimperson, I believe the court is well aware of your exceptional nature. Now, would you please continue with your testimony?
I have an upcoming election in the bag!
Hold it!
Why not?
So how do you actually intend to end such violence?
Elite politicians such as myself never reveal their strategies. Did you really think I would divulge such sensitive information to the likes of you?
Yeah, but surely you have some sort of campaign platform you're running on.
No comment.
Clearly, his is a, Clearly, his is a platform told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. He said he saw dats from under the tree. If that's true, then
Did you figure something out?
yeah, I think he's hiding something. Let's take another look at the evidence, Athena.
I was under this tree when I saw Mr. Ribble. He is running out the front door. I had no idea that Dr. Buff was dead. That's why I didn't call the police. Still, how? He was laying right there.
Objection!
There we go.
Mr. Attition Wimperson, rather than Mr. R. Rebel, wasn't there something else that should have been, that should have had your undivided attention?
Like what? Oh, yes, of course! A politician must also keep his fingers on the electoral pulse.
Sorry, but you're way off.
What else would he say? And focus on the nations. I am?
Would you care to explain, Mr. Justice?
If the witness saw Mr. Rebel from his position here, then he should have been able to see the doctor's body. He should have been able to see the doctor's body. After all, it was right next to a huge window.
Why, I believe you have a point there.
With the body that clearly visible to the witness, it's unthinkable that he wouldn't have reported it to the police. Ugh.
Would you care to respond, witness?
He's asleep.
Did he fall asleep?
Mr. Retition Wimperson? Mr. Retition Wimperson!
Oh, huh? Huh? Oh, There are many sides to any issue.
What did I ever do to deserve this?
Back after going to Fridays on Friday. Nice.
In any case, I'd like the court to acknowledge the inconsistency in the witness's testimony.
And Frosty, what do you mean? I don't know what you're talking about. I'm sorry for getting involved. Involved with what?
Mr. Retition Wimperson, did you really see Mr. Rebel?
Yes.
Where do you think you're going?
Oh, I thought I'd return to my seat, seeing as I already answered the question.
This isn't some small town hall debate. You just stay right there until I say we're through.
I'll have to run that by my campaign manager before I...
Objection!
Glare. Oh.
Mr. Retition Wimperson, I think it's time for you to come clean.
Huh?
So then, does this mean he didn't see Mr. Rebel? As your lawyer, Mr. Retition Wimperson, I advise you divulge the matter we discussed. Silence is no longer an option.
Are you sure about this? I'm in the midst of running for office! I can't afford to let any strange rumors get out!
Don't worry, you won't suffer any blowback for what you're about to reveal.
Blowback? I'm not sure I like the sound of that, Mr. Wright.
Not to worry, Your Honor. Nothing untoward will come of this. I promise. Now then, Mr. Justice. Remember how it was an anonymous caller that reported the doctor's death? Come to think of it... Emma, who was the first one to discover the body? What about that? Whoever it was, they seem to want to remain anonymous. What? It happens now and then. Some people would rather not get involved with the police. Wait, you're not saying... Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. The anonymous source who contacted the police after discovering the body was... my client, Mr. Politician Wimperson. What? You don't say. So you see, he played his part as a concerned citizen, quite admirably, if I may say so. Isn't that right?
Yes, indeed. In our society today, there are too many who choose indifference over righteous action. But I don't number among them. That's why I did my duty as a concerned citizen. One might call me the model citizen, one worthy to stand above the rest.
What a real standard bearer he is, reporting it anonymously. Oh, and by the way, Mr. Justice. Wasn't there someone else at the scene of the crime when my client's body was discovered? Or my client discovered the body? Oh, you mean Mr. Rebel? He would have been leaving the doctor's house right around then. Wait, that means... Yes, it does. In short, what my client witnessed was Mr. Rebel fleeing the scene of a heinous murder. Ah! And that's not all. Based on what we've heard so far, Mr. Rebel looked exceedingly suspicious, and that's putting it mildly. We already know the Defiant Dragons threatened the Doctor with bodily harm. And now that they've killed him, the so-called orb transfer agreement is null and void. Ah!
Oh, snap. Apollo, if we don't come with some sort of counter-argument...
And what sort of evidence do you have? Can you prove that it was Mr. Rebel who killed the Doctor?
That move has desperate written all over it.
It's all I've got, so I'm going with it! Evidence? I suppose it's true that I don't have any... I knew it! But I do have another witness. You do? You should know I always come fully prepared, Mr. Justice. And my new witness will provide testimony proving Mr. Rebel's guilt.
A new witness? I wonder who it could be. Oh, it's Sarge, isn't it?
Very well. Bailiff, please summon our new witness. In the meantime, the court will take a brief recess. I would like both sides to use this time to prepare properly. Understood?
Yes, Your Honor.
Wow. I knew Mr. Wright would put up a tough fight, but
Yeah, just when I thought we had him, he turned the table on us. He really is the turnabout terror.
can't let him blindside us again.
Looks like they got me again. 3 times in 1 year. That's a new record.
Tats, please, no more new records or bad puns while you're at it. It's hard enough trying to help you as it is.
Roger that. I'll be more careful next time. That's, is what Mr. Wright said true? Did you really pay a visit to Dr. Bluff that night? Sure did. Can't remember the exact time, though. All I know is he wouldn't hand over the orb. Someone put it in his head that we rebels were dangerous. That's why he threw me out.
So the doctor was still alive when Dats last saw him.
We'll still have to prove it, though. Better brace yourself, son. The next witness's testimony could make or break this case.
Yeah, I know. Hey, where's Trucy?
She went to go see her dad.
Maybe she's still mad.
More like worried. Worried that this trial would create a rift between you two. And that you might then leave the agency.
She has an active imagination.
Apollo, we saw the bad ending twice.
We don't talk about that.
Excuse me. Trial will be resuming shortly.
Well, let's go see what new testimony awaits us.
Oh no, I just realized it could be also Pearl.
Oh, dang.
All right. Court is back in session. Mr. Wright, you said you had a witness?
Your Honor, I would like to call the lone survivor of the doctor's murder to the stand.
Oh, it's Sarge.
Wait, he can't mean that Sarge is here. You mean Dr. Buff's reclusive son? How did you get him to cooperate? Nothing a little persuasion couldn't handle. The poor child only agreed to help if it meant catching the killer. Getting a kid like that to overcome his fear. Now that's impressive.
This must be really important testimony for the kid to come out in public like this.
Very well, Mr. Wright. Please call your witness to the stand. Oh my, not this again.
Ah, frick, what did I do for his voice? Does anybody remember what I did?
You did like a military type voice. Do you want me to take him?
You know what? Do you mind? Because
I
I
don't-
gotta do the Judge, Phoenix, and Apollo.
Yeah, I don't mind at all. Sergeant Buff, at your service, sir.
He's here as the drone? Really?
Mr. Wright, what exactly is the meaning of this?
Past trauma has rendered it impossible for the witness to venture into public. Leaving home was hard enough, and it seems leaving the witness lobby was just too much. But I would still like to continue with testimony delivered via this drone.
I understand it must be terrible to lose one's father like that. But testimony via a remote-controlled toy? Well, let's take things for a spin and see how it goes.
Of all the things.
Just who's piloting this trial anyway?
Does Phoenix know this kid's face? Yeah, apparently he's in the witness lobby right now. The judge sure warmed up to the idea fast.
I think the phrase you're looking for is gave up.
You disappoint me, Corporal Justice. To think.
Ah!
Defending the man who killed Papa? That's full-on treason, soldier! I hereby demote you back to private! Corporal? Private? What's he talking about, Apollo?
It's a long story.
Jordan wants to say what it showed. I don't think it would. No, it's still just Sergeant Buff.
Now then, Are you ready to testify, youngster?
The judge does not care that bullets were fired at Apollo. Locked and loaded, sir. Ready to rain lead down upon the perpetrator. Ha 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 ha. Papa met with someone the night he died. I didn't have eyes on the ground, so I'd already mounted my siege defense. But I did hear him arguing with someone in his study. From my window, I saw one designated Dats getting ejected from the premises. After that, the man lingered around the perimeter for some time. He must have regrouped and killed my papa in the study later. I just know it.
So he was thrown out, but later returned and committed the murder, did he?
All right, see you later, 13. Have a good one, dude.
Yes, Your Honor. So the man my client saw really must have been the fleeing Mr. Rebel.
Objection! Right, you backstabbing no good. I didn't kill no one. It's the enemy. Ready all missiles and fire!
Oh dear.
Whoa, 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 whoa! Ha 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 ha! Capless pig! I'll turn you into pork stroganoff! And that's just a taste of my ultimate anti-swine weapon!
Whoa! It fires missiles too?
Yes, well, the witness is all yours, Mr. Justice.
What happened that evening?
Hold it!
Your father met with someone? Could you be more specific?
No, I was in the midst of a crucial defensive siege operation.
Right. You're referring to how you don't leave your room, correct?
You never know where the enemy might be lurking outside the siege perimeter.
What about, school?
Oh, I don't go to boot camp. I am a soldier. A sergeant doesn't associate with rookies still too green to fight.
With a kid like this, I bet Dr. Buff won't be getting any rest in the afterlife either.
It was very brave of you to come to the courthouse today. What was that you said about a siege defense?
Oh, that? Well...
Hold it!
Sarge, I've always wondered. Who or what are you battling?
That's classified.
Even so, it may be relevant to this case.
He's just like Bloon's tower defense 6. Oh, is there a monkey unit that looks just like Sarge?
Objection!
I don't know if you're the right person to be asking about things like that.
That's right. Such matters need to be handled with a certain decency, delicacy.
Oh, I guess curiosity got the better of me.
You're all talking those action, soldier. Out of the battlefield, it ain't the number of the pretty words in your repertoire, but the number of bullets in your gun belt that counts.
Easy for you to say. You're the one with all of them.
Would the witness please tell the court what he saw and heard that night?
what was the argument about?
I heard things like, "Where's the orb?" and "Are you the Defiant Dragons really criminals?" It sounded really volatile, like a war might break out at any second.
So the two of them had an argument when Dads came to get the orb. Did you see or hear anything else?
Yeah, I heard them arguing, and then silence.
Hold it!
How was Mr. a Rebel acting?
Like a conquered trooper retreating with his tail between his legs.
A trooper? Well, I guess he does dress like he's in the military.
I bet those two would have really hit it off had they met under different circumstances.
Yeah, I can see that.
And so, the defeated soldier was expelled, but that wasn't the end.
Hold it!
That does seem suspicious.
He kept hiding behind trees and telephone poles and stealing glances at our house.
Well, he couldn't exactly leave without the orb.
I bet he was angry that he'd been kicked out.
Hold it!
But don't you keep your front door unlocked? If so, then anyone could have gotten in.
That's true. Papa didn't keep our house locked up. He said there was no need because there was only good people in Karine Village.
Yet he ended up dead anyway.
Only a monster could do what they did to my kind, trusting Papa. There will be no mercy. I vow swift and terrible vengeance. I'll carpet bomb the killer with everything in my arsenal. Fire!
While I sympathize with you, witness, will you refrain from firing Gatling guns in this court?
That is a real sentence. So Sarge saw Dads too.
And just when I thought things couldn't get any worse. I wonder why he hung around after being thrown out.
I hate to say this, but if Dads is proven to be the killer, we'll lose the orb to the plaintiff. So our only option is to prove the Defiant Dragons had nothing to do with the murder. Okay, what do we have? Cerebral hemorrhaging after being struck on the back of the head with the corner of an unidentified object. Didn't have my eyes on the ground. I did hear him arguing with someone in his study. From the window, I saw the Dads getting ejected from the premises. After that, the man lingered around the perimeter for some time. Must have regrouped and killed later. I forgot, when was Doctor wore this last night? bears a distinct yellow and green two-tone design. The only thing I can think of is he must have had that confrontation, but at the same time, no, there's not enough time. There's not enough time for that. May 15th. Got any ideas?
I got nothing.
Okay, so it makes sense that he didn't have the orb because he hid it. Because of the moss and the raincoat. He went to the cave. He got spotted by a Pearl, and he hid it. Then he came back and got met by Dats. Dats left the premises. He does not remember the time, but the previous witness says he was there around 10, he saw him around 10 p.m. That makes sense because Dats proved that as well. He said that he got kicked out. Note the bookcase, large window, and second floor area. That's also had his suitcase still in the area, in here, but we don't have that suitcase. And where did the reading glasses come into this? Yeah, I got nothing.
Can we do the consult button or something?
We had to do a couple. We had to get 2 misses before the consult button comes up. I guess we could present the diagram. Maybe he can. Maybe he'll give us more information. No.
That statement contradicts with this piece of evidence.
And just how does it contradict the evidence, Mr. Justice?
Yeah, we've seen that before.
I thought maybe it would like point where it was on the map. That the man lingered around the premises for some time.
Objection!
Yeah, it's not that one either.
All right, let's see what they had to say with the consult. Because I am lost. It's just me, or does that statement sound a bit dubious?
You know what? You're right. Thanks, Athena.
Anytime.
Now to take another look at the evidence.
I didn't have my eyes on the ground, as I'd already mounted my siege defense. Is it because the drone has a camera?
It could be it, yeah.
Objection!
Sarge, are you hiding something from me?
How dare you question your superior officer like that? You want to get in on the Stroganoff action with Pig Boy over there, soldier?
Sorry, but I'm afraid lawyers are missile-proof.
But what?
Would the defense care to explain?
It's simple, Your Honor. Just as he's able to see what is happening in court right now, Sarge was able to see what was happening in the study then. With his cherished drone, of course.
Ah, now that you mention it. And to think the answer was right before his eyes the whole time.
Sarge, you were perfectly capable of patrolling the study that night. So you must have seen something.
I'm it! What is this strange new weaponry you're using against me?
Courtroom warriors don't use guns or missiles because evidence is our weapon of choice. And the evidence has exposed your bald-faced lie. My truth bomb, Sarge, has stripped your defense bare.
Hey, truth bomb? No! Ag! Mayday, mayday! I'm going down!
Oh my, are you alright?
Evidence. Never have I seen such fearsome ordnance.
Tell it to us straight, Sarge. After all, you want to help your father, don't you?
Papa.
Yes, you want to find out who killed him, don't you? So please, tell us what you saw that night.
It's not what you think. I didn't see anything. I swear.
You sure? You seem awfully stressed for someone who didn't see anything.
Grrr.
Yeah! Sarge, you need to answer my question.
Shut your pie hole, maggot! I'll be scorching. It'll be a scorching day in Siberia before a lowly private like you orders me around.
What's with him in Siberia of all places? I've heard it's pretty cool.
It's cold.
But if a scorching day is what it'll take, then maybe it's time to turn up the heat. Hey, Athena. You think a therapy session might help? You can't therapy session a toy helicopter.
Well, it could help alleviate some of his anxiety. Plus, I'm picking up a lot of discord in Sarge's voice. That usually means the patient wants to say something, but can't for some reason.
And in Sarge's case, I imagine whatever's plaguing him is pretty severe. In that case, I'll leave it to you and your mood matrix magic.
You got it! Your Honor, I believe I could be of help here.
Time for a therapy session, is it, Miss Sykes?
Yes, I will help the witness with his anxiety. Maybe even enough to testify.
Then by all means, please bring the poor child out into the light of day. Oh, but I assume this will be all right with you, Mr. Wright?
Why not? It's not like we haven't been through this before.
What are you butting in for, lady? There ain't a place on the battlefield for you. I beg to differ, Sarge. This G.I. Jane's always ready to fight for a fight in the courtroom. And wait until you see what I've got in my arsenal. Analytical psychology. With it, I'm going to blow a big old hole in that armor you've built around your heart. First evidence, now analytical psychology. What are the WMDs coming from? A weapons of mass destruction. Well, if it's a battle you want, bring it on. You may have started this war, but I'm going to end it. Corpwoman Sykes. You got it, Sarge. Time to seek out the agony buried deep in your heart. Brace yourself.
Imagine if Phoenix and Apollo had to be divorce lawyers.
That would suck. I heard family law is like the worst. I stayed in my room with my drone that evening.
What would he be sad about there?
I heard Dats and Papa arguing with each other. Dats got kicked out, but I saw him still hanging around outside. I was in my room, so I didn't know Papa was dead until the next day. So I'm
looking for unexpected emotions and unnatural reactions, right?
right. Emotions and reactions that don't fit the context of his testimony. When you find one, make sure you point it out to me. Also, remember not to view his emotional reactions in isolation. Sometimes it's important to see how they change from one statement to the next.
Okay, I'll give it a try. Of family law, those cases are sometimes the funniest to watch. Which ones have you been watching? Because the ones I've seen have been really disheartening. I've literally seen a guy get sent to jail for not having enough money to pay child support. Why would he be sad at that statement?
He has like a overarching sadness throughout the entire thing. Yeah, let's pinpoint the sadness here.
I think it's the third statement.
Oh, okay. This emotion isn't that out of place, given the statement. Apollo, are you just looking at his emotions as they relate to only a single statement? It's really important to look for emotional fluctuations between different statements too.
Oh, right. Thanks for the reminder, Athena.
The sadness with this one?
That's what I'm thinking. Not that one either, huh?
Okay, let's take a look.
You do that. I'm gonna use the bathroom real fast.
Okay, cool. Okay, so he has some sadness. Sadness and shock. A lot of shock, but that makes sense. Why? It seems like the shock is way less finding his dad dead than seeing Dad just hanging out.
Got it.
All right, guys, I'm going to be right back as well, so I'll be right back.
All right, I'm back. I guess Zeke's gone. All right. We'll just wait. I'd say something to you, chat, but I feel like by the time Zeke gets back, it'll be too late to continue our conversation.
Remember, it's always too late.
Yeah, see what I mean?
So it was the fact that his shock was a lot less compared. Like, so he was super shocked seeing Dats outside, and then when it came to his father, he wasn't as shocked.
Okay, fair enough. That's strange. You reacted with shock when you discovered your father's body. Yet you weren't nearly as shocked then as when you saw Mr. Rebel.
He's always watching. You know it, Jordan.
Normally, you'd expect the death of one's father to be much more impactful.
Enemy fire! Direct hit! Did I not, Oh, I did not take down the screen. There we go. That is strange. Oh, whoops. That is strange. I wonder what that can mean.
Well, we know he wasn't affected by his father's death as affected as he should have been.
Thank you, Super Saiyan, but please don't call me Daddy. That's just kind of weird.
And I think I know why.
Oh?
Sarge, you weren't as shocked at seeing your father's body as seeing Mr. Rebel because...
You'd already seen his body.
Sarge, maybe the truth is you left the room that night. That when you saw it, your father's body.
I saw no thing!
Really? You didn't see his body? Alright then, what did you see?
Just trying to follow your footsteps. I do say out-of-pocket things. I get it. But stuff like that, I don't really say that. Look, Apollo, we've lost some noise.
So, just as I suspected, you really did see something. Sarge, please, tell us what you saw.
Oh, but... The moment I saw it, I couldn't bear it. I couldn't stand to lose yet another loved one.
Huh? Am I missing something here? Is that why you weren't very shocked when you found out your father was dead? Because you had already seen that he was a goner somehow?
Maybe.
Please, Sarge. What is it you saw on the night of your father's murder?
Oh, I saw. Ah!
What's happening?
Oh, he's having one of those emotion things.
I don't like where this is going.
No more, please. Eek! Help! Oh my gosh, he stole it.
Huh?
I've confiscated your little toy. The battlefield has no place for unauthorized equipment. Widget!
The battlefield
Apollo!
is all
Oh, sorry.
I was about to say, the battlefield is all about having unauthorized equipment. It's called warfare.
Apollo. It's not the Geneva Convention. It's the Geneva Suggestion.
Exactly. It's not a war crime if you win.
Apollo, I can't continue the session without him.
Calm yourself this instant, witness.
The judge is about to throw it like a hammer, bro. I will take that thing out of the sky.
I hereby order you to submit to your therapy session.
Oh my gosh, I recognize that reference. Mustard? Why not mustard gas?
What in blazes?
Oh, he stole his mallet. Look at me. I'm judge, jury, and executioner now. I hereby convince a military tribunal.
Whoa, whoa, this has gone way too far. Bailiff, arrest that drone this instant.
Rawr!
Stop resisting! Ah! If you don't come quietly, I'll...
Fire!
Ah!
Give Widget back right. Eek! And the rocket's red glare. The bombs bursting in air.
Gave true through the night.
That
our
our
flag was still there.
Phew! Finally got him back.
Nice work.
This witness is truly a handful.
That's saying something. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4. Whoa!
Miss Sykes, what's the witness's current psychological state?
Phoenix just does not care at all.
I've seen too much already. Nothing phases me anymore.
Let's see. He's emotionally all over the map. So
his out of control emotions are in control of him? Or so his out of control emotions are in control of him? Huh. Does that mean we can calm him down if we can, or does that mean we can calm him down if we figure out the root cause?
Yes. So let's see what we can find. Sarge, can you hear me? Oh, is that you, Corpse Woman Sykes? I'm here. Now, I want you to take a few deep breaths. Just try to relax. Try it with me. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. In, out, in, out. And now, let your emotions take you where they will. Go on, just let it all out. Ow! All forces, attack!
That's the least relaxing breathing exercise I've ever seen.
All right, so it's sad. Oh, okay, it's these two: sadness and shock. That's what's still hanging around after he got kicked out. When I heard more fighting, I got worried about Papa. So I left my room, but suddenly I got dizzy and passed out. I remember a flame lighting up the room and Papa grinning with delight. That's when he must have been killed. If only I hadn't passed out.
So he was 2 out of 2, so he has 2 out of control emotions, huh? And all we have to do is find out what's causing them, causing them to run wild like this.
Yes, whatever the cause, it should appear somewhere in the mood matrix. It's probably that fire. He has PTSD with the fire because that's what killed his mom. Let me know if you think you found it.
Easier said than done. Don't suppose you have any ideas on where to start.
Well, I would think about Sarge's personality and his past. Those are the things that shape a person's emotions. You should be able to find something to work with from there.
Got it!
Fire!
That's it! Sarge, you were overcome with shock and fear when you saw those flames.
Was I?
Just 6 months ago, you and your mother were caught in an arsonist blaze. So it's no wonder you would be extremely scared of fire.
Yes, that does make sense. And maybe, just maybe, your subconscious fear of fire was what caused you to withdraw from the world. What do you mean, corpse woman Sykes? In the outside world, you are bound to come across all sorts of fire. Candles, cigarettes, heck, even the grill at dinner. Even if it's not that often, just the idea that you might see them grew bigger and bigger until you couldn't shut it out. I think you might be onto something. Candles, cigarettes, just thinking about them sends a chill down my spine.
Wow, the things I take for granted.
Now I see. I was afraid. Afraid of the fire. Strange. I didn't even realize it myself.
About that fire, Sarge, can you tell me what it was burning?
Just stay calm and maybe something will come to you. Oh, Oh! I'm starting to remember. It was... It was that relic! That relic Papa was studying! It was on fire!
The orb was on fire?
That orb is on fire. It's still kind of fuzzy. But yes, the orb was burning right in front of Papa. And there, in the flame was... Mama? Yes. Oh.
Huh?
Could it be a could that have actually been the orb, the Mia Fey orb?
Ooh.
For spirit medium
Maybe.
purposes?
Maybe.
Yes! Now I remember! I saw Mama appear amid the dancing flames!
Wait, what?
Oh.
That's
That's
something.
scary.
What's going on here?
Maybe it's a memory from the fire that killed his mother? He might be confusing it with what really happened when his father died.
So let me guess. More therapy?
Yep, but this time, it seems there's an inconsistency in his statements. And I think we should be able to prove it with the evidence at hand. Ace Attorney Civil War, 100% gamer.
I hope this inconsistency is the key. To prove that the relic is really the Founder's orb.
Dats was hanging around after he got kicked out when I heard more fighting, and I got worried about Papa. So I left my room, but suddenly I got dizzy and passed out. I remember a flame lighting up the room and Papa grinning with delight. The relic was on fire, and I saw Mama's face inside. That's when Papa must have been killed. If only I had not passed out! Okay, let's take a look at the evidence one more time. The doctor hid it in the ruins before his untimely demise.
Objection!
Maybe. Don't blame yourself, Sarge. After all, even you had passed out. Or even if you hadn't passed out, the outcome would have been the same.
What do you mean?
I'm talking about the time of death. Your father wasn't killed right after you left the room.
What? Explain yourself at once, Private Justice.
You said you saw your father burning the orb, right? But that night, he went out to hide in a cave. To hide it in a cave. So what you saw, Sarge, was something that happened before your father left to hide the orb.
He got demoted to private again? Yeah, he got demoted because, like Sarge is saying, that he's defending his Papa's killer. Ah!
So you see, you didn't pass out right before he was killed. You passed out right before he left for the cave to hide the orb in the ruins within.
So, even if I hadn't passed out...
That's right. The outcome would have been exactly the same. That's because your father, Dr. Buff, was killed after he returned from the ruins. And therefore, Sarge, there's no need for you to blame yourself.
Oh, I see. Private Justice, can Can you really say I bear no blame in this?
Why do you ask?
Because the truth is, if I hadn't engaged in my siege defense, Papa would still be alive.
Sarge.
Papa wished nothing more than for me to lead a happy, healthy life. That's why he quit his job and moved us out, away from the big city. But even then, I didn't have the courage to set foot into the outside world. And in the end, I failed to make Papa's wish come true.
Sarge?
Sarge? If you want to make your father's wish come true, if that's what you really want, then who's to say it's too late? Why don't you make your first step now? My first step? That's right. You can cast off all your regret. You can stop standing still and start moving forward. You have the power within you. I know from experience. I know what it's like to feel like you do. But only you can decide to take that first step.
If you don't change your tactics now, Sarge, the victory you seek in the war you're waging will always lie before your grasp.
I think I understand now. I've made up my mind. As of this moment, I will suspend my siege defense indefinitely.
It's a girl.
Oh.
For whatever reason, I had a feeling that was gonna happen.
I was also preparing myself for it to be like a neat individual.
Somehow, I just had this feeling. I feel like this is just gonna be a girl, and I was right. I don't know why I thought that, and frankly, yeah, no, I don't know why I thought it, but I did, and I was right. Huh?
It could be just a like a dude with long hair.
Does that look like a dude to you?
It's a kid, so it's tough to tell. Sergeant Buff reporting for duty.
What? I thought you were a guy!
You're definitely not the gruff drill sergeant I envisioned. Well, my mama was in the Russian army.
I was just as shocked, but it certainly explained a few things when I found out, too. May I introduce you to Miss Army Buff? Army Buff.
Oh my gosh, that is hilarious.
May I introduce you to Miss Army Buff, age 12.
I realized as well, I just didn't bring it up, that the professor was a history buff. Miss Army Buff.
No way.
I love how she's like cuddling the drone too. Careful, soldier. Don't forget I could blow you away at a moment's notice. She's just too cute.
Oh boy, Athena. So, have you always been in a wheelchair, Sarge?
Negative. Only since I was injured in the fire.
Your voice sounds awfully different from before.
My drone features a voice modulated device. It's just one of my army's many technological marvels.
Well, you fooled me. I thought some 20-something military fanatic was at the controls.
If it's all the same to you, troops, I'd like to continue my testimony. I just remembered something, and it's as crisp and clear as a trumpet at roll call.
What did you remember?
It wasn't my mother who appeared in the burning orb. It was some lady Papa had shown me a picture of a long time ago. He said it was the Holy Mother, the founder of Koreanism.
Oh my.
Well, Mr. Wright, we have the proof we need. She appeared right there, right in the burning orb.
Huh? What did you just say?
Checkmate, Phoenix! Wait, so does that mean Buff is now titled to the throne? Because I think, technically speaking, those that see the Holy Mother in that orb should be the next royalty.
Huh.
The Holy Mother of Koreanism was in the burning orb? Burning orb? What does that even mean?
Burning orb. I have a bad feeling about this. Could it be? Could this explain what Sarge means by the Holy Mother appearing in the burning orb?
Offer thy prayers as fervent as fire. Only then shall the Holy Mother return. Descending upon us in all her glory, the Founder bestows the greatest power known.
Take that!
Dr. Buff's research notes? What do they have to do with this?
Look at this. The burning orb. The appearance of the Founder. This part points to both.
Offer thy prayer.
Take that!
There's a legend about the orb involving a mysterious riddle.
And that's the even better too. This second part is barely even known. Those last two, the first two, everyone knows.
And this song, in turn, is said to contain the key to solving it. If the legend is true, then I believe the answer lies in this part of the song. Offer thy prayers as fervent as fire, only then shall the Holy Mother return. Well, anyone see where I'm going with this? Prayers as fervent as fire. Ah! You're supposed to set the orb on fire? The whole stanza seems to suggest that the Founder will appear if the orb is set on fire.
Wait! So the doctor, he...
Yes, Athena. He had solved the ancient riddle of the Founder's orb.
Oh my!
Papa was a great archaeologist, so I believe in him, and I want to believe. I want to believe he achieved his long time dream of solving that riddle before he died.
Well, we won't know for sure until we try for ourselves.
Apollo, are you seriously gonna light the orb on fire? We're gonna light the orb on fire! Yes, do it, Private Justice. Please. I want to see that what Papa was searching for with my own eyes.
Objection!
The, plaintiff must object to this.
Objection!
The plaintiff will stand down and be quiet.
Who's saying that to his boss? Holy crap. Apollo got some gonads.
Objection!
You don't have the right to set a precious relic like that on fire!
Objection!
Oh, but I do. All I needed was Sarge's permission. Since we still don't know if this treasure is the Founder's orb or the crystal of Ami Faye, any ownership rights the Doctor had now belong to his daughter. Therefore, you have absolutely no right to stop us. Ugh!
Very well, Mr. Justice. I never thought I'd be saying this, but you may burn the evidence.
Light it on fire!
All right, here we go.
Fire, 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 fire.
He's got one of those Zuby lighters. No, wait, no, that's not the brand. Crap, what was the brand name?
Zippo?
Zippo. He's got one of those Zippo lighters. Look!
Apollo! The inside of the orb! It's melting!
There's something in there.
That's pretty cool. The face of the mother.
Ah! Dirk! Isn't she?
The Holy Mother's face. Her garb leaves no room for doubt. It's the Founder herself! Face and all! I don't understand. The greatest of taboo in Koreanism is the depiction of the Founder's face. Yet here it is, hidden within this orb.
Whoa. Sorry, Mr. Wright, but as you can see, the issue is crystal clear. This figure is the Holy Mother, founder of Koreanism. And based on that, this must be none other than the Founder's orb.
Objection!
Be that as it may, Mr. Rebel still may have killed the Doctor. If so, it would render the orb transfer agreement null and void. Don't play dumb, Mr. Wright. The truth of the matter has already been proven. Dr. Buff wasn't killed right after Sarge stole Mr. Rebel. It happened after the Doctor came back from hiding the orb. And you've no proof that Mr. Rebel was still around at the time. Your claim that the Defiant Dragons were behind the crime doesn't hold water. And that means the orb transfer agreement is still perfectly valid.
I thought it was Arbol. We just been going with a rebel because that's the naming convention. That's a rebel.
Admit it, Mr. Wright. I just burned your whole case to the ground. Oh, no!
Well, that's awkward. Congratulations, Apollo. You're now the boss.
I won? I actually won?
Mr. Wright, would you care to respond?
Respond? I didn't think so.
Wait, did we just win? Did we actually beat the Turnabout Terror? You're amazing, Apollo! Don't just stand there, right? Do something!
Well, I don't think there's any digging out of this hole. Mr. Attition Wimperson, I think it's time for your concession speech. I have proven beyond a shadow of a doubt that this is the Founder's Orb. The facts don't lie, but you obviously do. How's that for a campaign slogan?
Why, you contemporous peasant!
I think this is a good time to wrap up this trial. If both parties have no further objections, I will render my verdict.
No objections here, Your Honor. No.
Uh-oh. You can't do this! The crystal is mine! I'll lose the election if I lose that crystal!
I'm sorry, but there's really nothing more I can do.
You haven't forgotten about our little chat, have you?
What's going on here?
Objection!
Your Honor, I object to the defense's last claim. What? I don't believe they have truly proven that the relic is indeed the Founder's Orb.
Objection!
Mr. Wright, I don't even think you could bluff your way out of this one. What possible argument could you have to claim that this isn't the Founder's Orb?
Wait. Everyone's saying, do you think he's blackmailed? Do you think, oh, come on. Phoenix being blackmailed to get someone a not guilty plead? Do you really think that'll ever happen? Oh, wait, that has happened. The fact that's happened before.
About that. Oh, of course. He can't possibly have hit on something. The defense's assertion is incomplete, and this is why. Their claim that this relic is the Founder's Orb is based on a legend. And that legend claims that the founder will return when the riddle is solved at last. Right, and that's what happened. The Founder was revealed for all to see. But Mr. Justice, what about the rest of the legend? Huh? According to the legend, once the Founder returned, she would bestow spiritual power onto the person who solves the riddle. You're kidding, right? Well, Mr. Justice, do you feel great spiritual power coursing through your veins? No. but receiving spiritual power and stuff, it's all just mystic mumbo jumbo, right? Maybe so, but you're the one basing your claim on the legend, but you're the one basing your claim on said legend. And what we saw here does not fully fulfill it, does it? No, but... Consequently, you cannot rightfully claim that this is the Founder's orb.
My man blackmailed a lawyer and can't even be awake to watch it work.
What's gotten into him? Why is Mr. Wright doing this?
It would appear that Mr. Wright has lost a few of his marbles.
That couldn't be further from the truth, Your Honor.
In any case, I believe this is a good time for a recess. Both sides will have 20 minutes to prepare. I ask that all arguments be ready by that. Oh, and Mr. Wright, you do well to wash up and find your missing marbles by then, too.
Even the judge is calling him loco. Yeah, pretty much. Mr. Wright sure is acting funny. I mean, he's famous for going out on a limb, but that last assertion is just plain crazy.
It's either a bluff or a Hail Mary. Either way, it doesn't make much sense.
Hey, Jay, how you doing?
Maybe there's something we're missing here? Although, he seemed perfectly normal when we spoke earlier.
Apollo, I have a bad feeling about this. I'm gonna check up on him.
What's going on with you, Mr. Wright?
Hey, Private Justice.
Oh, Sarge.
I forgot to mention something. Thanks, Jay. However, I'm not accepting any friend request on Steam or anything like that. Sorry, dude. On the night of Papa's murder, a strange thing happened.
Oh? But why are you only telling me about it now?
Well, I didn't say anything before because I thought Papa's death was an accident. But now that we know otherwise, I figured it might be important.
There's still more to this case?
When I left my room and lost consciousness, I passed out right here.
That's right above the coffee bar.
Mm-hmm. But when I came to, someone was pushing my wheelchair.
What?
I was so scared, I beat a hasty retreat as fast as my wheels would take me.
Do you know who it was?
No, it was pitch black. Plus, I fled to my room so fast, I didn't even have a chance to turn on the lights.
Maybe it was your father?
No, he would have said something to me. Besides, I have known it was besides, I'd have known if it was him.
So then, it could have been
The killer.
your father's real killer?
My thoughts exactly.
But you didn't report it to the police?
It'll be your birthday on May 3rd. Oh, nice, dude. Oh, and retracted. It didn't even occur to me.
It's okay. You were obviously still upset, so don't beat yourself up over it.
Apollo, this could be really important information. I think the act of pushing Sarge's wheelchair could be a part of some bigger scheme. It's hard to see why else the killer would have done such a thing.
Guess I should take her statement down as evidence.
You better wish me a happy birthday on May 3rd. If I remember by then, dude, come on, it's October and it's in May. That's legit, I think, 7 months? I think 8.
Serious?
It says I better wish him a happy birthday on May 3rd. If I remember.
I don't know who you think you are to just come in here and demand stuff like that. Oh, welcome back, Athena.
Uh-oh.
What's with the long face?
That's when I was born. Yeah, we understand the concept of a birthday.
How'd it go with Mr. Wright?
What should I...
Athena?
Oops, sorry. Zoned out there for a sec. The recess is almost over, so let's go.
What was that all about?
All right, court is once again back in session. Now, Mr. Wright, about that last objection you raised.
We, the plaintiffs, still believe that the defense has yet to sufficiently prove its case. They claim that, according to the legend, the Founder's Orb bestows spiritual power. Yet the relic in question has failed to do so. Therefore, it has failed its own test.
I see.
He's sticking with that ridiculous argument? Furthermore, even if it's the Founder's Orb, it can't be awarded to the Defiant Dragons. After all, they were the ones who killed Dr. Buff.
Objection!
What are you talking about? It was already proven to be false. There are no grounds for asserting that the Defiant Dragons murdered the Doctor. Oh, but I'm afraid there are, Mr. Justice.
Apollo, I don't have a choice. This gun is pointing a gun to my head. Poor Phoenix.
Your Honor, I would like to present new testimony to this court. Testimony that will show that That's a Rebel did in fact kill Dr. Buff.
What? Oh, that's
What?
you. What?
Very well. You may call your witness.
I guess Mr. Wright found another new angle.
What new testimony could there be this late in the game?
He's back. Fellow citizens, it is I, politician, the once and future representation of the people. And I'm not blackmailing my legal team.
Jeez, not him again. My client divulged new information to me during the recess. He remembered something he saw. You see, something crucial to this case. How very convenient.
That's crime. It was around 11 at night, and I was out on a mobile meet and greet around the village. That's when I saw Dr. Buff being murdered from outside his study window. Mr. Abal snuck up from behind and struck him on the head. His weapon of choice? A suitcase. A big, strong man like him could easily swing a heavy suitcase into someone's head.
You saw the murder as it happened? And you're just telling us now because...
I saved the best for last. It's a tactic known to all the political greats.
The murder weapon was a complete mystery. But my client's eyewitness account has finally brought it into the light.
According to the autopsy report, Dr. Buff was struck in the head by the corner of some object. I suppose that could very well be the corner of a suitcase.
Objection!
But eyewitness testimony isn't the same as hard evidence. Oh? I wouldn't worry about that if I were you. What's that supposed to mean? We have physical evidence too. A luminal test revealed.
Oh, there was blood on it, wasn't there?
Oh my.
Oh no.
The doctor's blood on Mr. Arbel's suitcase. Really? But how does that prove Mr. Arbel used it as a weapon?
Objection!
You should know the answer to that, Mr. Justice. Since you know as well as I that the suitcase is covered in his fingerprints. What? Ah! I forgot we dusted it right in front of Emma!
The turnabout terror strikes again.
This is quite convincing testimony and evidence. Nevertheless, you may proceed with your cross-examination, Mr. Justice.
I still think that the politician dude looks like Kim Jong-un.
Hold it!
You were on a so-called mobile meet and greet at 11 at night?
That's right. It's the perfect time because everyone is at home. You should have seen how the villagers' eyes teared up when they heard what I had to say.
With tears of frustration, no doubt.
They're like,
Everybody in the village was the crying Wojak.
he thinks he's like, as you can see, I am the politician Chad, while you're the crying Wojak.
In reality, it's you know the version of the meme where the Wojak is wearing like the mask with the smug face, but
Yes.
under the mask you can tell he's crying.
Yes.
That's the politician.
That's
And
awesome.
Everybody else is the regulars crying Wojak.
And they're all basically crying Wojak's like, why can't we kill him? He was like one day away from everyone grouping together, taking him out to the woods, taking a bullet to the back of his head, and just never talk about it again. Throw him into that cave too.
You weren't riding around in your palanquin?
That's right.
Palanquin?
That thing he gets transported in.
I just missed the end.
Oh. That's right. Some village idiot reported me to the police. I've been banned from using it after dark. No wonder, with all the noise he's making.
So what exactly did you see then?
Hold it!
Sounds like you witnessed something rather shocking.
Indeed. I didn't even believe it at first. I mean, a vicious murder in Quran?
There haven't been many murders there. There haven't been many murders there, I take it?
If I'm elected, I promise you that such a terrible tragedy will never happen again. A vote for me is a vote to banish murder forever from our beloved Quran village.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Mr. Attition Wimperson, please tell the court what you saw at the scene of the crime.
That is correct, Captain. And I think someone was stabbed there too.
He snuck up from behind? So you're saying the doctor never even realized Mr. Rebel was there? This is the second doctor killed there in about, within the last 10 years.
Yeah.
There have been 2 murders there in the last 10 years. Both of them were doctors.
Yeah. Not good. Not good. That's right. He was utterly absorbed in his book. Oh. His book. His book.
I see. What did you see, what did you see Mr. Rebel do next?
He climbed up the bookshelf ladder and dumped a bunch of books down on the body. I believe he was trying to make it look like an accident. But that idiot didn't realize I could see everything from outside the window.
One of those statements doesn't feel right. Your Honor, I believe the witness made an important statement just now about...
Doctor reading a book.
The doctor was reading a book at the time of the murder. That's vital testimony.
Very well. The witness will please add that statement to his testimony.
Front of the bookshelf, absorbed in a book.
Objection!
That's like basic stuff right there.
The doctor was standing in front of the bookshelf, absorbed in a book, you say? I'm sorry, but it seems your testimony is completely unreliable.
That's quite a bold statement. Well, let's hear you back it up. I challenge you to prove that I am saying. Oh, I challenge you to prove that I am anything but 100% reliable. Our fact checkers just found out you're not reliable.
It would be my pleasure. Lately, it seems that Doctor's eyes had gotten so bad he needed reading glasses. However, his reading glasses were over on his desk. So you see, there's no way he could have been reading in front of the bookshelves.
Arr!
I'm sorry, Mr. Attition Wimperson, but I'm going to have to ask you to explain this discrepancy to the voting public. You what?
I'll explain it, you lowly cur. I simply made a mistake, you see. The doctor was actually sitting at his desk when Mr. Rebel hit him over the head.
But then the doctor would have been facing him, Surely he would have seen him and tried to run.
Dr. Buff was nodding off. I could tell because his eyes were closed and he wasn't moving.
Sounds more like what you would do. Then how do you explain the fact that he was struck in the back of the head? Isn't that something that should be impossible from the front of the desk?
Oh, about that. He bowed his head when he nodded off, and that's when he was clobbered.
So that's what you saw. Well, Mr. Justice, that sounds like a perfectly reasonable explanation to me. Do you have a problem with the proposal that the doctor was struck while nodding off?
The only thing is, how do they get right here? Yeah, the desk has like a weird U.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, yeah, I'd say there's a problem.
There is a problem. A very big problem. The witness's statement doesn't hold up under the slightest bit of scrutiny.
Is that so? Then will you please show the court what evidence you have to justify this?
Gladly, Your Honor. This is the problem with the witness's claim that he saw the doctor nodding off.
Oh,
there's a bookshelf blocking
right
the way.
there. Yep, unless he was in the office itself, he would have not been able to see.
Take that!
A diagram of the study?
Mr. Ashton Wimperson allegedly viewed the murder from here. And the doctor was allegedly nodding off here. But from his vantage point, the bookcase would have blocked the witness's line of sight.
Why, yes, I believe you're right.
But ah!
The fact remains, my client knew that the suitcase was the murder weapon. So he definitely has first-hand knowledge of the crime scene. I'm afraid I have to agree with you there, Mr. Wright. But then we have to ask ourselves, from what vantage point did he see the murder? Oh, we're about to accuse politician of murder, aren't we?
Yep.
What are you insinuating, Mr. Justice?
Funny thing is, if he just would have let this all go, he probably would have walked free for at least another day.
From what vantage point could Mr. Attition Wimperson have seen the dozing doctor? Once we determine that, I believe we'll finally see the truth behind this incident.
Thank you, Captain. Yes, we would like this to stay blind, please, and thank you.
The witness saw the murder from right here.
Take that!
Oh, wait. You've got to be kidding!
What'd you just realize?
Never mind, I don't think it'll hold water.
Oh.
But that's...
It is indeed. But everything only makes sense if the witness wasn't there in the study.
Inside the study? But that's the scene of the crime.
I know. Mr. Attition Wimperson, the man who claims to be a witness to the murder, was most certainly in that very room.
Apollo, are you suggesting...
Mr. Attition Wimperson, weren't you the one who actually swung that suitcase?
Gah!
What you're proposing is ludicrous. My client is a small, thin man, whereas Mr. A Rebel has the muscularity to pull it off. He has a point. I gave up trying to lift that thing after one go.
That's right. He's the only one who could have lifted such a heavy object. Now do you understand? The rebel that's a rebel is the doctor's killer. As long as the suitcase is the murder weapon, the suspicion falls entirely on Dats. You had to poke a hole in Mr. Wright's argument somehow, Apollo.
Oh, I will. And with his own technique, no less. If Mr. Attition Wimperson couldn't swing the suitcase around, we'll just have to consider another way he could have used it as a murder weapon instead. I'm going to turn this case on its head, Mr. Wright, just like you taught me. You talk big, Mr. Justice, but do you have what it takes?
I think I might have a theory.
Yeah?
I don't know the full details, but he used Army's wheelchair to move it around.
Oh, that would be interesting.
Because that's the only way that could explain why Army woke up outside of her room. Huh.
That might actually do it.
Well, this should be interesting.
Mr. Attition Wimperson's testimony has been filled with one inaccuracy after another. First, he stated that Dr. Buff was in front of the bookshelf. Now he claims the doctor was sitting at his desk. So where was the victim really when he was killed? Also, where was his killer? And how was the murder weapon really used?
So the important thing here is the position of the victim and killer relative to each other.
Yes, Your Honor. If they were positioned in a certain way, it would be possible to use the suitcase as a weapon without lifting a finger. You can't mean... I would ask the court to recall the study's layout.
Oh, the coffee on the book proves it. He was getting coffee. He had his book. He was reading about psychology, probably about Army.
And the bookcase was dropped on him.
The suitcase was dropped on him.
Oh.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that's brutal.
It's quite distinctive, as you can see. Now, if Dr. Buff were sitting in a certain spot and his killer was at a certain other spot...
That's why the suitcase is right there, too. Dad's only kept it in the second floor.
Oh, man. The suitcase would become a weapon anyone could use.
Very well, Mr. Justice. Where was Dr. Buff's killer at the time of the crime?
He was upstairs.
Yep, right around here.
There?
Oh, that's... This should wrap things up nice and pretty for you, Mr. Wright. I would ask the court to recall the study's layout. But this time, instead of thinking in 2 dimensions, let's think in 3. Only then can we clearly see the killer's method at work. The killer didn't have to swing the suitcase. If he used gravity to his advantage, that is. That's right. It was the plaintiff, one politician Wimperson, who used the suitcase. He pushed it from the 2nd floor. And sent it hurling down onto Dr. Buff, who was sitting at the coffee bar.
Yar!
The psychology book had been at the coffee bar, no doubt. The doctor must have set it down there after he finished reading it, or the like. But his blood got on it, which is why the killer thought to hide it in the mountain of books.
Objection!
That's quite an entertaining theory you have there, Mr. Justice. But there's no evidence that the murder took place at the coffee bar.
Oh, yes, there is, Mr. Wright.
I'm not so sure about that, Mr. Wright. I'd say the evidence of the murder occurring at the coffee bar exists. The evidence does exist, and I'm going to show you. You are? This right here is the proof that the murder took place at the coffee bar.
Take that!
This brown stain was determined to be coffee. What's more, it was still a bit damp when we saw it yesterday morning. Ugh! One look at this book speaks volume, I'm afraid, Mr. Wright.
The book pun.
If the doctor was able to have a cup of coffee at the coffee bar, that's when the suitcase came hurling down, striking him on the head. Causing both his blood and coffee to spatter onto it. Ah! Well, Mr. Attition Wimperson,
What motive could I possibly have to kill Dr. Buff?
and there it is, the final excuse cornered killers are so fond of. Well, the doctor never returned your crystal to you, did he? Instead, he hid it in the canvas ruins, or in the cave ruins. Telling him that the Defiant Dragons were a dangerous bunch was a huge blunder. All it did was make him hide the orb. Your lie came back to bite you in the end. Even worse, the doctors saw the news reports, so he knew the relic was the Founder's orb. being the conscientious researcher he was, he knew he had to return it to its rightful place. And that means keeping it out of your hands.
Ah!
You were so angry that he refused to return the relic to you that you killed him with your own hands. Isn't that right, Mr. Attition Wimperson?
Arg! Ah! I love that face he does. That is,
Apollo! Don't! Please don't accuse my client of murder! Huh? What do you mean, don't accuse him? Why would you even say that, Mr. Wright? What I meant was, he's a promising politician with a bright future ahead of him. It's in our nation's best interest to avoid burdening him with the taint of a scandal. Say what?
right. You better do something to change the current courtroom climate, or I'll be charged with murder.
Oh.
And you know what will happen to her if that happens.
Don't tell me Maya's been kidnapped again!
Damn it, Maya!
What's he talking about? Well, I can ponder that later. For now.
Either in police custody or some creep's custody.
Mr. Wright, you can't possibly believe that Mr. Rebel is the killer. Are you really going to send an innocent man to prison? I thought you were better than that! Well, Mr. Wright, answer me!
You know what? This is a tough moment for Phoenix, but this just proves that Phoenix did not have what it took to save Maya from On Guard without the help of the best character in the entire franchise. Let us hear a round of applause for Dick Gumshoe.
Who?
Come on, don't do the man like that. Don't do the man like that. He deserves our respect.
Well, he is kind of stupid.
In an endearing way, though.
Still stupid.
I know. In an endearing way.
Wright? What in the world's going on here? If you won't say anything, then... Mr. Attition Wimperson, the defense...
Apollo, wait!
Not you too, Athena!
It's just, I wasn't sure whether I should say anything, but during the last recess, when I went to check on Mr. Wright, I overheard something I shouldn't have.
I trust Maya is unharmed.
Oh no, Maya!
Darn it, Maya!
I can't really say, but just remember, if I'm arrested or fail to obtain the treasure, there will be consequences. Consequences of the worst kind, if you catch my drift. Relax. All you had to do is ensure I get my hands on that relic. I must deliver to my benefactor at all costs.
What do they want with that relic what do they want that relic for anyway?
It's something to do with an old legend. My patron seeks the great power said to be granted to whoever solves its secrets.
Maya? As in Maya Fey?
Yes, the boss's legendary former assistant.
Miss Fey's being held hostage?
So it seems.
Why didn't you tell me this as soon as you heard this?
Why didn't you tell us we were going up against Phoenix?
You were at the airport sleeping!
Sorry, it's just Mr. Wright spotted me before I could slip away. And maybe promised not to tell you. He said it would make things more difficult if you found out.
As if things weren't already hard enough! So that's why Mr. Wright was acting so strange. I had no idea. This must have been excruciating for him. Think, Justice. There's got to be something you can do!
Mr. Justice, about that last statement of yours. I believe you were in the middle of accusing the plaintiff of murdering Dr. Buff. Would you care to continue?
I'm sorry, Apollo. I'm really, really sorry.
What's gotten into you two?
If I accuse that slime bag, I put Miss Faye's life in jeopardy.
I'm gonna go ahead and save because I think we're about to get a bad ending chance here. I think we're about to get a choice. It seems you finally caught on. I'm far too important to be accused of murder. After all, our nation's future rests squarely on my shoulders.
Either I give up or...
Once I present the crystal to my patron, my victory is assured. Then one day, I'll become president, and then king. I'll have every politician at my command. Now, retract your accusation.
I can't kowtow to him, but... The defense would like to retract the Huh? Edgeworth? Oh no, it's you.
Apollo.
Dirk?
I don't know what's going on here, but a lawyer should never look the way you do right now. With defeat and resignation written all over your face.
A dragon never yields.
Even when wounded, a dragon bites down hard and never lets go until its dying breath. It glares, it roars, and it latches its jaw firmly onto its prey till the bitter end. That's what lawyers do to get the truth.
Dirk. A dragon never yields. He's right. It's all over if I give up now. If Mr. Wright's hands are tied, it's up to me to do what must be done. He saved my neck so many times. Now, it's my turn to save his. Jerk. Thanks for that wake-up call.
Now that's the face of a lawyer you got there, son.
Where there's a will, there's a way. And I'm going to find the way to save Miss Faye. And see that justice is served. The scumbag is holding Miss Faye hostage to ensure that he gets the orb for his patron. And it seems his patron believes the orb's legend. The thing is, the founder did appear when the orb was exposed to fire, just as the legend says. If the legend is true, then we've already solved the riddle, right? We haven't? Yes, we've definitely solved the riddle, and yet I still don't understand what part about bestowing power is talking about. I need to rethink this.
No, not yet. Of course, that's our first try.
The legend says the founder will bestow great spiritual power when she returns.
I think I remember them saying whoever figures this out becomes the next king.
But if that's true, it means we haven't solved the whole riddle yet. How can that be? Are we missing something? Wait, maybe. Maybe the part about the founders returning should be taken literally.
Channeling.
How could it...
Oh, that's why they have Maya.
Oh!
They're not going to kill Maya, but that's why. Oh my gosh.
They need her for her channeling powers.
Yes.
Oh, I know. There is a way for the dead to return. Spirit channeling. Of course, you'd have to know what the founder looks like first.
Oh, and that the founder. Oh my gosh. They wanted the orb to solve the riddle so they can know the face of the founder. They want to channel the mother.
So that's it. But the orb has revealed her face to us. So if it's a sign, what if it's a sign that we should channel her? Given the facts, in order to solve the riddle and receive the founder's power, I need
a spirit medium.
the ability of a medium to channel spirits is the final key to unlocking the orb's secret. That means Mr. Attition Wimperson's patron will need one too.
And that means Maya is safe for the time being.
Exactly. And once that slimy politician realizes that, he won't be able to lay a finger on Miss Faye.
Ha ha ha! We trumped your trump card!
Everything's going to be okay, Mr. Wright. Because politician Wimperson can't afford to harm a hair on Miss Faye's head. Huh? Mr. Attition Wimperson. It seems you've chosen the wrong person to take hostage.
What do you mean?
Your patron seeks to solve the orb's riddle, and thereby receive great spiritual power. However, only Maya Fey can truly give them what they really want. She can?
What do you mean, only Maya Fey?
Think about what the return of the founder really means. We should have considered it more literally. After all, the orb was made in the kingdom of Khurayan, the birthplace of spirit mediums. Ah, I think I see now. You need to know what the deceased looks like in order to channel them. But in Khurayanism, depicting the face of the founder is taboo. However, true face was hidden in the orb. So maybe the orb is telling us to try channeling the founder. Exactly. Through a spirit medium, the founder can quite literally return. And if the legend is true...
I just realized something too.
Yeah?
We knew the king was sus and evil and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Why would they need Maya if the queen is all that powerful?
I think maybe it'd be easier to get to Maya than the queen.
I don't think the queen has any power. I think they're both usurpers. They just took over the power, and then they put in the DC Act to prevent anyone from going after them.
That would be something. The founder just might bestow spiritual power on someone when she does. It's like when Pearls imbued my Magatama with spiritual power. If a human could be imbued with such power in a similar manner...
It is said the founder possesses immense spiritual power. Such a great feat would not necessarily be beyond her. Wait a second! Then the legend is true?
Do you understand now, Mr. Atishan Wimperson? You're holding hostage the final key to unlocking the orb's secret. If anything were to happen to her, the riddle would remain unsolved forever.
Ah! Am I about to be queen? There's always Pearl Fey. I could simply ask her to help. If she wants money, I have plenty to offer.
Yeah, good luck with that. She's not the kind of person to be tempted by material gain. And she certainly wouldn't help you if anything were to happen to her cousin. Or maybe you'd like to go ask the Queen of Khurayan to channel the founder for you. He could, but he'd probably get executed for requesting such a thing. It's over. Now confess! You killed Dr. Buff, didn't you?
Ack! It wasn't supposed to end this way!
Mr. Atishan Wimperson, are you admitting to committing the crime?
You're my lawyer, right? Do something!
It's true that I'm your lawyer, and as such, it's my job to defend you. However, defending my client isn't the only duty a lawyer has. There's something else that's equally as important. And that's finding the truth.
What?
Mr. Attition Wimperson, you've sought to twist the truth in the dirtiest of ways. I was complicit in your hostage-taking, but in a way, I was being held hostage too. Even so, there's still hope for me to make things right. And I owe it all to you, Apollo. Mr. Wright. I can't allow a murderer to walk away scot-free. Therefore, Mr. Attition Wimperson, I must resign as your attorney.
He just slides over to Apollo. No, 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 no! Ah! Does this mean under arrest? No! Yeah, it's still fine. It's still fine. It's all fine.
Well,
I've nothing to confess.
what?
I said I've nothing to confess. I don't and I won't, especially not to plebeians like you.
This guy doesn't know when to give up.
Besides, there's no truth to these allegations. I mean, look at the suitcase. You won't find a single print of mine on it.
All that means is you wiped them off, taking care only to leave Mr. Rebels.
As many great politicians have said before me, no comment.
In that case, try switching things up, Apollo. Look at the situation from a different angle. Is there really nothing that points to the suitcase being dropped up from above? Evidence that points to the suitcase being dropped from the second floor.
If the killer pushed the suitcase from the second floor hallway over the coffee bar, that would place him right around here.
Maybe. Just maybe. Thought of something, Apollo? I believe this piece of evidence to be connected to the dropping of the suitcase.
Take that!
That appears to be a statement, but how is it related to this case?
On the night of the murder, Your Honor, Miss Army Buff physically left her room. That's when she saw the doctor burning the orb and subsequently passed out. Right above the coffee bar. But with her there in the wheelchair, the killer would have been able to drop the suitcase down onto the doctor. Or wouldn't. Good point. However, according to Sard, she woke up just as someone was trying to move her in her wheelchair.
Someone was pushing my wheelchair.
What?
I was so scared. I beat a hasty retreat as fast as my wheels could take me.
She must have been in the killer's way and had to be moved. Isn't that right, Mr. Attition Wimperson?
Arg!
And if the killer had pushed the wheelchair with his bare hands. Uh-oh. We may yet find the conclusive evidence we need. Exactly. Fortunately for us, that evidence slipped right through the killer's fingers. If only he'd been able to hold on to it just a little tighter. But now he is neither able to discard nor alter it. Honestly, that piece of evidence wasn't even supposed to be here in this courtroom today. And yet, it looks like sometimes things do get better.
But this wasn't supposed to happen.
No? Well, too bad. Because the evidence that sped away from you that night has come back to haunt you. Right here at this very trial. Your Honor, the defense's final piece of evidence is on this person.
Someone that was not supposed to be here.
The kid. Army buff.
That's right. On her wheelchair. He put his fingerprints will be on the wheelchair.
Yeah, exactly.
That's...
On the night of the murder, Sarge passed out. Only to come and find that someone was pushing her wheelchair. That's when she fled back into her room. She didn't physically see a single soul after that. Not until Athena drew her out through that therapy session, that is. While the killer was able to wipe the prints on the suitcase off. The same can't be said for the prints that got away.
My fellow Koreanisms.
Well, Mr. Politician Wimperson, try to explain your way out of this one. The podium's all yours.
Politician, savior of crime. I am not a crook. My political career, it can't end like this. I'm destined for great things. Something's wrong. This can't be real. It's a dream. No, a nightmare. Oh! Huh? What? Wait, really? Whoa, no way! Bonsai! 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 No, please! Wait! No, hey, don't go! No, no, please! Wow! Grandpa!
Mr. Titian Wimperson, are you all right?
I don't think he is.
Bailiff, get him to the first aid station on the double. Well, this was yet another unexpected turn of events. In light of everything that's been revealed, it seems the relic is indeed the Founder's Orb. And it seems Mr. Politician Wimperson can be considered a suspect in Dr. Buff's murder.
Paula, I want to thank you for everything. Thanks to you, I didn't have to keep bending the truth. I don't know what I would have done without you. Don't mention it.
You were amazing today, Apollo!
Well, I couldn't have done it without Dirk.
A dragon never yields.
A dragon never yields. Even when wounded, a dragon bites down hard and never lets go till its dying breath. It glares, it roars, and it latches its jaws firmly onto this prey till the bitter end. That's what lawyers do to get to the truth.
Dragon never yields. Every lawyer should take that to heart.
As it seems both sides have no further objections. Would Dirk Shadmari please take the stand? The court awards the orb to the Defiant Dragons per the stated transfer agreement.
Congratulations!
Should the Kingdom of Korian claim ownership, the matter may have to be deliberated in court all over again. I just hope, or shall I say pray, that I'm not the judge presiding over that one.
Indeed, a trial like that might spark an international incident. Still, there are bigger and more monumentous things stir in the air.
The revolution. Dirk's really serious about this.
The court is adjourned.
GG's, everyone.
GG.
Nice work, son. We finally broke it through the last obstacle on the road to revolution.
Revolution? It just doesn't seem real.
Yes, well, to think you actually defeated the Fighting Phoenix. All I could say is, that's my boy! Ha 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 ha!
Well, Mr. Wright did have his hands tied. Who knows if I'd won if he'd been able to fight me head on.
I see it more that you saved Mr. Wright.
Saved him?
Yeah, remember what he said? He didn't have to bend the truth anymore. It's all thanks to you.
I don't know about that. Still, I guess it is kind of nice to be appreciated.
Mr. Dirk? Now that the Holy Mother's face has been revealed, are you going to try to have a spirit... Are you going to have a spirit medium try to channeling her? I, for one, would love to see the return of the legendary founder.
Yeah. Just think about it. Being able to speak to someone right out of the history books?
Unfortunately, it's not that easy.
What? Why?
A face isn't enough. You also need the true name of the one you're attempting to channel.
Oh, right. Pearl mentioned something like that.
And the founder's true name is only known to the priestess who's been crowned queen. In short, the only living person who knows it is the current queen of Korian, Garan.
Oh, So without her help, we won't be seeing the founder anytime soon?
That's no fun.
Founders Orb updated. Alright, this is not over. So Dirk, what will you do now?
First, I'll start by tracing the route by which the orb came into Dr. Buff's hands.
Since we now know it was politician that asked the doctor to study it, isn't he the one who stole it?
No, a politician nobody like him couldn't get anywhere near the orb, let alone steal it. He must have had inside help. My money is on someone connected to the royal family.
Oh, right. You said something to that effect back in the cave.
Whoever it may be, we need to expose their dirty scheme to the light of day.
Well, I'm sure Mr. Wright had plenty of information, courtesy of his dirty client. He might be able to shed some light on this.
Private Justice! Oh, that was fine work you did on the trial today. You did your sergeant proud.
Back at you, Sarge. It took real courage to leave your room like that.
It's all thanks to you and Corpsewoman Sykes. With my siege defense over, I could finally sally forth. But the batter's only just begun. One for me and me alone to fight. To lose your mother and then your father. What a terrible thing to endure.
Yeah, and being wheelchair bound doesn't help.
Private Justice. I've been thinking. It's about time I stood on my own 2 feet. After all, I no longer have Papa to cuddle me.
Huh? I'm afraid I don't follow.
Take a good look, soldier. This is one small step for man. And one giant leap for me. Hold my drone for me, would you, Private Justice?
Yes, sir. What is she up to?
Whoa!
Nice one, kiddo. She's standing!
What's this? Sarge! You mean your legs? They're... The doctor told me I was ready to walk again months ago. But if I admitted I could walk, I knew I'd have to leave the house. So I faked it.
Makes sense, but...
I pretended I couldn't walk. But I know Papa is watching over me now, and I'd hate to disappoint him. So, from this day forth, I'm going to march forward on my own 2 feet.
What a brave kid, trying to move forward like this. But it must be so hard this soon after her father's death.
Don't you ever stop. Just keep on walking, comrade. Stay brave, because there will be days when you'll want to stop. But I have faith you'll find a way to muster the strength to push through them.
Yeah, you can do it. You can do it.
Hey! Daddy's back!
I miss my Maya tales. I miss my Maya.
Mr. Wright, what's that look on his face for? Oh, Apollo! Is everything all right with Miss Faye? She's safe. For now.
Well then, we'd better go save her, quick! Where is she anyway?
I'm afraid I have some bad news. She's been extradited back to Korian, hasn't she?
Oh no.
Huh? Maya's not here in the state. She's all the way back in Korian. She's still in Korian. And she's still being held hostage by the mastermind behind this whole thing. The mastermind? That's right. Politician Wimperson was nothing more than a pawn. Maya's true abductor is the kingdom of Korian. Or is in the kingdom of Korian. What? I don't understand, Mr. Wright. What in the world's going on over there? But as shocking as that news was, it was only the beginning. The beginning of something big. Big enough to shake Korian to its very core. Revolution. I was being swept up in a mighty wave that nothing could stop. Of course, at the time, I had no idea what the days ahead had in store for us.
There's no getting off of Mr. Bones' wild ride now. Well, that was pretty cool.
Well, that happened, yeah.
Jobu says it's the end of part 1.
Doesn't that case only have like 2 days? Or what was it again?
Yeah, okay, that was day 1 investigation, day 1 trial.
Both of those took a whole stream. Day 2 investigation.
Day 2 investigation, day 2 trial.
Oh, snap. Okay, so we're in this for like 2 more streams at least.
At least 2 more streams. Wow. I gotta say, I'm liking this finale so far.
It's not holding any punches.
I will definitely agree with that one. Anyway, guys, thank you all so very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. GCD, thank you for joining me as always.
You're welcome.
And I will see y'all again most likely on Sunday for our next stream. But until then, see y'all later. Have a good one. Peace.